What's up, everybody? I'm sure you've had a long day just like I have. It's Wednesday. Why can't it be Friday? Sometimes you just don't feel like cooking a giant crazy meal. You just want to get home, finish your day, and just make something quick, easy, and simple. And that's exactly what we're going to do today. Hamburger Helper. This is the deluxe cheeseburger macaroni. For some weird reason it says try with hot dogs instead of ground beef. I don't know why you would do that. Personally, I won't. So I just wanted to show you that after a long hard day, Chef Lynn, she's been at work all day long. I've been at work all day long. So we're going to do something nice and simple, quick, easy. But I do it a little bit differently, so I thought I would show you. I've got, noodles. I've got the sauce packet. I'm going to use some French fried onions. I took the time to beat the crap out of some croutons. And I've got a triple pepper jack with, it's habanero, ghost peppers, jalapeno in it. And a casserole dish. And also some shredded sharp cheddar, and then a pound and a quarter, pound and a half of 80-20 ground beef, which, is a pound of ground beef, and you throw it into one skillet and you just cook it. Well, I'm not sure if you've noticed, but in my opinion, the pasta is kind of gummy and it's kind of weird, and it just doesn't really taste very well. That's why I do these things, and it takes just a few minutes of extra time. It took me like 30 seconds to grate that cheese, and probably about 10 to beat the crap out of these croutons here. And I'm using cheese and garlic croutons. They're just, your basic cheese and garlic crouton. Use whatever you like. And essentially, I'm going to fry this ground beef up and cook the pasta separately, and then marry it into this pan with a little bit of crunch on the bottom, a layer of cheese, dump in my ground beef and my pasta mixture. I'm going to use the dumb little packet here because it actually is kind of yummy. Some salt, some pepper, and Worcestershire sauce with my ground beef. Do another layer of crunch on the top, toss it in the oven, pull it out. We're only adding about 5 to 8 minutes cooking time to this in total. And I guarantee you, it is absolutely worth it. So, let's get cooking. You got your water preheated. You want to make sure that you've got some salt in there. And you put the pasta in. Really simple. And at this point, we just let the pasta cook. That's it. Just put it in there, let it cook, give it a stir. Every so often, you're tired, you've had a long day, your manager was yelling at you or something, just let this cook. Now, to the ground beef. Take your ground beef, dump it in, give it a good stir. We want to break it up a little bit. And you know how to cook ground beef, this is really simple. Nice and easy. The only thing we're going to want to do to this is cook it. A little bit of salt. A little bit of pepper. Kind of mix that around a little bit, break it up a little bit. And this might sound really weird, Worcestershire sauce. Just a tiny bit. Give it a little shake. And just dump some in there. It might look like I'm adding a lot, but I'm really not. There's actually very little being added. And give it a stir. Brown the ground beef. Once the beef is completely browned, you don't want to completely cook it, because we're going to put this in the oven. You're done. We're cooking the pasta. Once the pasta is cooked to our liking, we're going to mix this up in the same skillet that I'm using here with that cheese sauce and the milk and the butter that they call for. There our little pan guy here with a little bit of crunch and some cheese. Dump this on top after it's been mixed. Add another layer. Bake it in the oven for 5 to 8 minutes until it's got a nice little crisp on the top. And you've really transformed Hamburger Helper. You can actually make this from scratch, and I can show you how to do it. But Chef Lynn and I have had a very long, rough day, so we're just going to do something nice, quick, easy, and simple. And we just wanted to share that with you. So like, subscribe, and share this, because I'm sure a lot of you out there have rough days at work, and you just really don't feel like coming home and making this elaborate meal. So don't do that. Do this instead. We'll see you in a minute once this is done cooking. Thank you. Best thing about Hamburger Helper, you can kind of elevate it a little bit. It doesn't take much effort or time because, well, as I said earlier, we've all had a long day today and we're just not trying to do filet mignon or beef Wellingtons or anything like that. We just want to eat, take a shower, and go to sleep. Really easy. I've got right here my little baking pan, 3 pats of butter. I've got some crunchy onions, 2 types of cheese in it. I told you about the cheese earlier. This is what I'm going to dump the pasta, which is already cooked, and the meat over. I do have to do one more step though, and I'll show you right now. I've got that cheese sauce, packet, weird powdery stuff. I just dumped right in with a couple pats of butter into my meat. All I'm doing is just making sure it's melted. Oh, well, guess what? It's melted. See how quick that was? Seconds. Perfect. It's going to taste so much better with the Worcestershire and the salt and pepper. But the recipe calls for milk as well. So I've got 2 cups of milk, and I'm just going to dump that right in there. That looks like a hell of a lot of milk. And, well, it kind of is a lot of milk, but it doesn't matter. This is going to reduce a little bit as it cooks, and once it does, it'll be absolutely great. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring this up to a simmer so it starts to actually reduce. And if you will notice, my pasta has already been drained. It's cooked fully. Like, this is great. Yep, it's perfectly fine. Much better than if you were to do this in the same skillet. Spend the extra 5 minutes. I know you're tired. Spend the extra 5 minutes. It tastes so much better. And I mean, 5 minutes. What's 5 minutes? I mean, you spend longer than that scrolling on your phone after you're done in the bathroom. I know you know what I'm talking about. So take the extra 5 minutes to do the pasta separately, and just dump it in. Once it's strained and you've got some heat going here, just put the pasta in. That's it. Give it a nice little stirry stir with spatchy here. We want to kind of get everything incorporated. We're not going to add any of our extra cheese yet, because we're essentially turning our Hamburger Helper into a Kickazz casserole. And I'm not even joking, this is going to take an extra 5 minutes out of your life, and it's going to be so worth it. This will be the best Hamburger Helper you've ever had, and if you're like me and you've been eating Hamburger Helper for 25 years, when you make it this way, wow, it'll change your life, and it's super quick, super simple, but it tastes really good, especially when you do it casserole style like I'm going to do. So essentially at this point, I'm going to reduce this a little bit, and then I'm going to come back. I'm going to dump it into this pan, stick it in the oven, and cheese it. Throw some little croutons and some more onions on the top, and well, that's pretty much it. Bake it off for 5 minutes. Get a little bit of crisp on top. And I guarantee you, it's better than any other hamburger helper you've ever had in your life. So stick with me here. I'll see you in a minute. Stay foodie, and oh man, keep working. You're doing good. I appreciate you. You know what the best part about this is? Quick and easy. Yeah, we're pretty much done. I mixed the noodles and the cheese packet thing, and I did have to add a little bit of salt and pepper. Always season to taste. Don't ever forget that. Now I get to just dump it into this pan and stick it in the oven for like 5 minutes, and I'm eating. So yeah, check it out. As you can see here, it's nice and thickened and reduced. And I've got my pan here with a couple pats of butter, some cheese, some onion crunchies, I'm just going to dump it in. I'm going to use my little spatula here and just get the last of that little cheesy, saucy amalgamation of whatever the hell that's supposed to be out. And I'm going to give it a little spread. Thankfully, this pan isn't very hot at all, so I can give it a little shake, spread it out. Now we're looking like a casserole here. This is where it really comes into play. I've got those croutons that I beat the crap out of earlier. I've got my triple pepper jack cheese. I've got my French fried onions. And I've got my nice shredded sharp cheddar. So I'm going to put some cheddar down. Just kind of crumble it around. It's going to melt. It's going to do its thing. Try not to leave too many dry areas. There's already cheddar in this. It's a cheddar based sauce. It's essentially like macaroni and cheese with ground beef in it. So yeah, just toss that on there. Shake a little bit of this crazy 3-pepper cheese or whatever cheese you like on it. I do prefer to use 2 different types of cheese, like a Jack on the cheddar base. This is not an Italian dish, so we don't really want to use Parmesan. And then it gets real simple. Those croutons that you beat the crap out of earlier, just kind of shake some out. It's going to take a minute because, I like a lot of crunch. It's up to you how many you want to beat the crap out of. I like a lot of crunch, so I tend to do quite a few. Just try to evenly distribute those over your Hamburger Helper casserole thing. And then onions, same thing. If you don't like these, don't use them. It's that simple. Just shake those guys over. You know what? Not on my watch, buddy. You're not getting away. That's it. You're done. And there you have it, folks. This video is probably a lot longer than it actually took me to make this because, well, I've got to make like cool content for you so you can like, subscribe, and share. But it really only took me about 5 minutes more than it would take to make a normal Hamburger Helper. But I guarantee you, this is going to kick ass. Now I'm going to stick it into an oven, bake it until it's a little bit crispy on top and that cheese melts. I'll pull it out, I'll show you, and we're done. Take the extra 5 minutes and, stay off Facebook, for that 5 minutes and use that time to do this. Unless you're liking and sharing my content on Facebook, always do that. And I guarantee you, this will be the best hamburger helper you've ever had in your life. Trust me, it's kick-ass. Once again, the best thing about this is you're hungry, you're tired, you've been working all day. Quick, easy, but you also want something delicious. You don't want some dry ass McDonald's hamburger. This is it's just not going to satisfy you. So the hamburger helper, just do it slightly kick ass. Check this out. We're done. And it took us 6 minutes longer than the actual cook time. 6 minutes. That's it. So take the extra 6 minutes and trust me, you're going to love this. Check it out. Look at this beautiful casserole here. This is actually Hamburger Helper. Who would ever think that that's Hamburger Helper? Nobody would. I've got a little knife here, and I'm just going to run around the edges. Oh, look at that. Cheesy, delicious. This is still pretty hot. I have let it rest just a little bit. Because we're tired and hungry, I kind of wanted to get this going like quickly. So I've got a little soup bowl here, and I'm going to take and just ladle some of this in there. Remember, this is a pasta dish that has essentially just been fixed. Yeah, that probably doesn't look like the greatest thing you're ever going to eat. I haven't cleaned up the bowl and this and that, so it looks absolutely gorgeously amazing. I'm going to add a little bit more on this side. Yeah, no food styling here. This is it. It's almost like a goulash at this point. It's Hamburger Helper, but I guarantee you that this is going to taste better than any regular Hamburger Helper you're going to make. One of the best parts about it is the fact that we used ingredients that we already had. And it only took us about 5 more minutes to add the crust, add the extra cheese, make sure the pasta was cooked correctly, and you bake it for 5 minutes. You can't go wrong with that. You literally cannot go wrong with this. I should have let it rest a little bit longer, probably about 5 more minutes. But it's still going to be good. Everybody eats Hamburger Helper piping hot. This is, yeah, that's piping hot. I burned myself. Yeah, very, very, very hot. But I guarantee you it's going to be delicious. Make this. If you're tired, long day at work, don't feel like going to the grocery store to buy some more ingredients, don't. Just use what you have and make this, and I guarantee you won't regret it. See you on the next one. Stay foodie.